that's all of Infinity Zero's questions, so Sven, who have we got next?
Random hat trick, Vice of Legends 9001. First question.
What are your thoughts on the upcoming games, the next Smash Bros, Yoshi's New Island, Dragon Ball Z, The Battle of Z?
Okay, well, Dragon Ball Z, The Battle of Z, I don't have the console for it, and to be honest, I kind of stopped playing Dragon Ball Z fighting games a while back. I mean, maybe if it gets enough praises, I might pick it up, but I got my big Dragon Ball Z Kamehameha Super Saiyan fighting film with Tenkaichi 2. To be honest, the main problem is there hasn't been enough new Dragon Ball Z material for people to make new games out of it. I mean, unless they've read much into this game, so unless they've decided to add some new content in, like from Akira Toriyama or something, I've no real reason to buy it because I already got the game that allows me to repeat all of the Dragon Ball Z episodes, so...
Fair enough.
Yoshi's New Island? Not sure, to be honest. Okay, I really love the original Yoshi's Island. It's a fun game, it's a charming story with a very simple premise, and it also ties as a prequel to the entire Mario series, because for those of you who haven't played the original Yoshi's Island, the basic premise is that Kamek attacks the stork that's delivering the baby versions of Mario and Luigi. Yes, that's how it works in the Mushroom Kingdom, apparently.
Wow.
But yeah, Kamek attacks the stork, and so Mario falls onto Yoshi's Island, and baby Luigi is being held captive by Kamek, and so the Yoshis take it upon themselves to get Mario all the way to Bowser's Castle to reunite him with Luigi, and then take the two of them back to their parents. Now, that's a fun premise all on its own, but to me, it's only a premise you can really do once. I mean, Yoshi's Island on the DS, the sequel that came for it, was really pushing it by saying, oh, the same things happen again, but this time, the baby versions of Peach, Donkey Kong, and Wario are there as well.
Wow. Just basically the same story, but with more people.
Yeah. So, New Island, I'm really not sure, because part of me is getting really tired of, I know this is kind of hypocritical coming from me as a Donkey Kong fan, but I'm getting really tired of, we will get a game that was faintly popular in the 90s, add new to it, and then just give it a 3D facelift, because it was a good game as a standalone. Just either come up with an entirely new premise, or just drop it, because, you know, there was already a game called Yoshi's Yarn. Yes, it was basically carried on from Kirby's Epic Yarn, but I like that. That was a new title. It was a new way for Yoshi to go. But now we're back in Yoshi's Island. We're back to using eggs. We're back with baby Mario on his back. And the funny thing was, I did a little bit of research just before we started the recording of this, just to see if there was any kind of new angle like I could work from, and it wasn't just like more the same but with a 3D facelift. And oh my god, right, the ending of Yoshi's Island was really sweet and adorable, because it was basically Yoshi is giving the twins to the stork, and the stork gave the babies to Mario and Luigi's parents, and you got the adorable sight of the two brothers and babies in the arms of their parents. According to information that's just come out, the premise starts by having a recap of the story, playing that scene, and then having the parents go, these aren't our babies. And so, the plot of this game is Yoshi taking the babies back to their real parents.
Oh my god! That's just bad.
So, basically, you take one of the most adorable moments in the Mario franchise and say, yeah, that never actually happened. The entirety of the first game, the classic hit from the SNES generation, is now completely pointless.
Oh my god. That is so stupid. It's practically awesome.
Yeah, so part of me may check it out just to see how the hell they recover from that, but so yeah, moving swiftly onto something we can both talk about, the next Smash Brothers.
I really don't have much to say, save for two things. A, I hope it gets a better main story, and B, please swap out, well, I know Marth's already been announced, so at least bring in one of the lords from Fire Emblem Awakening. That is all I ask.
Yeah, that or the My Unit, that would work pretty well if they wanted something different from the standard swordsman.
That is true. I'm not sure how they'd work the alternate appearances in.
Well, they kind of did it with the villager from Animal Crossing of just going with a basic appearance.
That is true.
There was also some people suggesting Anna because apparently she has a detailed, complex history, to which my response would be no.
Yeah, to which my response would be she's an extra. She's a running joke.
Pretty much. But yeah, I would agree with what Sven said, adding that I would like to see an extra Donkey Kong character. I don't care if it's Dixie or K. Rool, both were good. But unfortunately, I think Sakamoto has made it clear that there's not going to be a story mode in the same style as Subspace Emissary, mainly because his main reasoning for it is that he was disappointed by the fact that cutscenes of the Subspace Emissary were leaked onto YouTube, and because he wanted them to be a reward for playing the game. That's it. That's the sole reason he's not doing a full story mode.
Just hold on for a moment. I'm just processing that. That is just... No! That is not a good reason.
I know, I mean, this kind of crap happens everywhere. I mean, yeah, it's annoying with leaks, but you know what? I did play through the Subspace Emissary without watching the leaked cutscenes, and you know what? It was still crap. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, fair enough if you don't want a story mode. I mean, you could... There are ways to get around it without just banning the whole thing altogether. I mean, you could, I don't know, integrate it with the gameplay. Or, if you have the problem of release dates, then add, I don't know, voice acting. That way there is something for someone to play.
Yeah, just... Oh my god. That reasoning borders on insane troll logic. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah. He had mentioned that there will be a single-player adventure mode, but it's not going to be like the Subspace Emissary, which I'm kind of mixed about because, dumb reasoning aside, whilst I like the idea of a crossover story, Subspace Emissary had a load of problems. Like, even just from a gameplay standpoint, it was a dull, boring slog, never mind the story. Never mind the fact that the story really made no sense when you got right down to it, and the only way you could understand what the hell was going on was unlocking a secret page on a website. I'm not even kidding about that. Back onto the game itself, it seems faintly... It's coming together fairly well so far. I mean, I'm happy 2 Link's in just because I like that version of Link, even if I'm slightly confused because I thought he said he was cutting down on some characters, or not that many new characters were introduced. It's kind of odd, but the character selection has also been interesting. I mean, I'd be lying if I said Rosalina would have been my first choice, especially since, Mario has enough characters at this point, but she looks unique and fun to play as. Wii U Trainer is understandable but odd.
Yeah, like... I'm not sure how they're going to work her into the game, but,
Yeah, Mega Man is fun, if only for a good 2D throwback, and the fact that Capcom's not doing anything else with it in the meantime. Yeah, otherwise I'm just sitting tight and seeing who the character selection is and hoping I'm not disappointed. I mean, I can say what I would like to see, what I wouldn't like to see, but honestly, I'm going to buy the game when it comes out anyway, so there's no...
Personally, for me, just the hope that they add Chrom or ideally Lucina to the game, because holy crap, Lucina's awesome.
Oh, yes. That's our answer to that question, so moving on to the second question, which unfortunately is another one for me.
Will you be reviewing more detective games, or was that sadly a one-time thing?
My response to that is, I definitely would like to review more detective games. Maybe not as the full big analysis for things, but now that I've kind of started up VGT side quests, one of the things I want to do for that is to occasionally do multi-part reviews of games, and the games that I will qualify for that mini-series are either A, games I'm playing blind, B, games that really rely on user interaction, like, say, Mass Effect, Skyrim, Walking Dead, or C, games which have really good spots for cliffhangers, and that would work in an episodic format. So that's also one of the reasons why I'm considering Xenoblade for that slot, because holy crap, the cliffhangers of that game. But yeah, Detective Series, especially with the fact that it's unlocking the mystery as you go, would definitely be a good fit for that. The problem is deciding which one. I mean, part of me really wants to do Hotel Dusk in order to make up for the fact that I started the talk through but never finished it. Main problem is, I don't have any way to record DS footage. I mean, I have emulators, but I really don't like using them, especially because of all the glitches that come with them. Never mind the whole legality of the entire thing. So, I may end up using a game made by the same company called Another Code R, and I have actually added another Agatha Christie game, which I think was made by the same company, into my rental queue, and then there were none, I believe it's called. So, yeah, there are more detective games in the pipeline, it's just deciding how I'm going to do them, if that makes any sense.
Well, it makes sense to me.
And his third and final question.
What do you think about Zelda Classic?
I had a quick look at what this is. Zelda Classic, from what I can tell, it's basically kind of a ROM hack community for the original Legend of Zelda, but it's a lot more in-depth. Basically, people added extensions to it so that you can perform different quests, explore different worlds with a facelift, etc. It looks really interesting. Unfortunately, as I've said before, I'm not really a part of the ROM hacking scene. I'm not really against it in any way. It's just something I don't really have time for, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and as for me, I have literally never heard of it before now.
Fair enough. He has provided a link, so follow it. I'll put it in the description as well, so yeah, follow it if you're curious. Alrighty, next one, it's gonna require some explaining. Right, I gave 2Junkie1 one simple rule. Only one question. He broke it in about 2 days.
To say the least.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, there was the whole complication with that magic hamster I kept hostage, which, for those of you who've been following the comments and actually care about this witness, it's fine. It's still kind of half dazed, and it occasionally asks me to call it Susan, but apart from that, it's...
Well, at the very least, it didn't regenerate.
Unfortunately, it has a really irritating tendency to throw itself off cliffs, which is annoying, since apparently, when it does die, it curses someone with long YouTube delays.
That would explain some things. Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, because it's not fair for him to have 14 questions when everyone else is only allowed 3, I have picked 3 special ones out, which Sven will now read for us.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to these, looking at the first one. Okay, first question.
Sven the Crusader appears to be nothing more than a human outline with headphones and a question mark. Is he a ghost? If so, how did he die?
I was too lazy to insert myself into the cyber realm, so I never got a sprite.
That is a joke no one will get, but anyway.
Yep, literally no one, because we're not going to explain.
Just like the baguette joke. Anyway,
moving on very quickly.
In your opinion, which system has the best RPGs all around, both in quality and in quantity? Nintendo or Sony?
Sony, no contest.
Yeah, Sony, because honestly, Nintendo's strength, in my opinion, lies in strategy, but that's obvious.
Yeah, well, the thing is with Nintendo, their consoles do have, like, really good RPGs, but it's not even a case of, like, with the case of the PlayStation, like, good RPGs are like diamonds in the rough. There's a lot of it to be found. With Nintendo's RPGs, it's like finding a few gold specks in the middle of a barren field. It's that they're very hard to find, mainly because, from what I heard, apparently Nintendo's boss kind of burnt some bridges with Square and Namco, so they're sort of very semi-reluctant to work with them, but that's...
That I did not know. That would explain why Final Fantasy moved permanently onto Sony systems.
Yeah, the guy responsible is dead now, so better not speak ill of the dead, but yeah...
Yeah,
what is...
it just, in hindsight, maybe not the best of decisions, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean... Like I said, Nintendo does have some great RPGs. Xenoblade is really good, Last Story has some issues but was still really enjoyable, and then there's Skies of Arcadia and the like. Those are all really good RPGs. Problem is, they're like the few handful of RPGs you can get. Meanwhile, on the PlayStation, it would take forever to list all of the RPGs that appeared on the console, never mind the ones that have been really good and received critical praise.
Yeah, I mean, I can list RPGs ranging from Final Fantasy in popularity all the way down to, Legend of Legaia, which I swear I'm one of the 3 people who played. There are plenty of really, really amazing ones, because, let's be honest, during the PlayStation 1 and 2 era, Sony's entire purpose was basically RPGs.
Pretty much.
So it's very difficult to beat that. Rounding off, Sony, no question. But to move on.
Have you played Nostalgia for the DS? It plays exactly like Skies of Arcadia, only on Earth in the Victorian era.
I heard of it. I remember seeing news stories of it, and now that you said that, it's kind of coming back to me, but I don't know what happened to it. I mean, I was thinking about playing it. I remember the news stories. I remember seeing a trailer for it, and then it just kind of mysteriously disappeared on the face of the earth. I don't know if it was released outside of Japan. It may have been. In Europe, it got absolutely no press. I didn't even know what it got in reviews. It just kind of... I remembered seeing it, and then it just mysteriously disappeared.
Yeah, that's about the sum of it. I've literally never even heard of it.
Yeah,
So we really can't say much.
We now move on to the final set of questions, and they come from Trainman666. His first question is a simple one.
What are some movies you feel are greatly underrated stroke overlooked? Why?
Well, if I may, I'll just start this question off with one very simple answer. Secondhand Lions, already basically reviewed it in a Monkey Broadcast episode. You should go watch that. If for nothing else, the fact that it features Travis Willingham. Poor Travis Willingham getting the crap beaten out of him by Robert Duvall. In what eventually went on to become a mimetic con joke.
I heard about that, and I've watched the scene where he got punched in the face, but otherwise I've yet to see that movie. I really should add it to my rental queue sometime.
I would highly recommend it. Speaking of children's entertainment, that is actually really, really good.
I can think of 2 answers. Well, actually, I think instead of both of them. The first is The Quick and the Dead. I've watched it a couple of times in rental, and I got it permanently for Christmas this year, and I really enjoyed it. The premise goes something like this. There is a town run by a crook who has a quick draw contest every year in order to keep himself entertained. And I've always loved that, whether it's guns or swords, which would be I don't know, I guess. I've always found something fascinating about the whole quick draw aspect, and the movie plays that really well, and it has a massive load of stars attached to it. It was made by Sam Raimi, the guy who did the Spider-Man trilogy. It has Gene Hackman as the villain, Keith David as one of the contestants, and 2 of the other contestants are Russell Crowe and Leonardo DiCaprio. It's also kind of a blast from the past because back then they were ridiculously young. Leonardo DiCaprio's in his teens during that movie, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I actually watched the movie again on your private recommendation, and it was eye-opening to say the least, because I don't remember exactly when this movie was released, but I think it was released the same year as Titanic. Suffice it to say, Leonardo DiCaprio was young.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. Another one I would add is Sword of the Stranger, namely because it's an animated action film. The plot is admittedly very simple, but it has great atmosphere and incredible fights.
Yeah. Speaking of things I got Jonin into, I highly recommend this myself.
So yeah, those are some movies I think more people should watch. And speaking of movies, his second question is,
what are some movies you're looking forward to in the year 2014?
Well, personally, that would require me knowing what movies are coming out in 2014.
Same.
Sorry, Train Man.
Yeah, I mean, there are 2 I can mention. The first is the next Star Wars film, which is supposedly coming out sometime in 2014, which it'll be interesting to see what Disney does with it now.
Yeah, especially considering that I've recently found out that the guy that's directing it was in charge of the new Star Trek movies, which
yes.
ought to be interesting, because Star Trek had a fascinating directorial style, to say the least.
That's a nice way of putting it. It would be interesting to see how that goes, especially since apparently the old cast is returning. It's debatable about how much of a role they have in the actual story, but also thinking about it, there are 2 others I could suggest. One is kind of an obvious one, Captain America the Winter Soldier. Just because apparently it's based on one of the best stories in the Captain America comics, but also because I just really like the movie version of Captain America because, like, I really liked him more than any of the other Marvel Avengers movie line, and the main reason being, okay, this is going to go into a slight tangent, but part of me really dislikes this idea that's kind of portrayed around that if a hero is, like, kind and decent, it's apparently a weakness and they just need to be gritty, serious, uncaring. They cannot allow themselves to be feelings. But Captain America is just genuinely a decent person, and that's his main strength and all. He's just like this. He's got like this really adorable, caring guy. Like, there's actually one great moment where someone, to test his character, asks the question, "So, do you want to kill Nazis?" And his response is, I don't want to kill anyone, I just don't like bullies. Like, to me, I just really adore that kind of character, but that's just me.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that, and on top of that, I've seen that one scene in the Avengers where Loki is trying to take control of the German crowd, and he says, "The last time I saw a man standing over the German people, we disagreed." That was a surprisingly awesome mini-speech.
Yeah. There's one I really like to watch, but it could go either way, and it's more of a personal stake of mine. It's Man of Tai Chi. The reason I say this is because apparently it's a martial arts movie, which, okay, I like those, but it's apparently made by a man who was studying Tai Chi, and that kind of appeals to me because, like I say, I practice martial arts, and I do also practice Tai Chi, and it is really interesting because a lot of martial arts these days are either taught as sports or meditation, and Tai Chi's ended up on the meditation side, so people don't quite realize it's a martial art, but it is actually a very dirty one, to be brutally honest. But so it would be really cool to see this in like a big live-action Hollywood movie. Only problem is, already in the trailer, it looks like it could go either way, because there are some moments where he's fighting enemies, so I can see, oh yeah, that's definitely Tai Chi. He's using the sweeping motions, he's using the enemy's energy against them. And then there's other shots where he's spinning through the air before landing an elbow strike on an opponent, and when you consider that in Tai Chi, the power comes from the legs, so you don't want to break connection with the ground unless you're making a step forward or backwards. Yeah, that's pushing it.
Yeah, that's like, I don't even know what martial art that qualifies as, but none of them that I'm familiar with.
Yeah. Also, another factor which could make it go either way, the villain's played by Keanu Reeves.
Oh, God. That's like one step below Nicolas Cage.
It could go either way, so yeah, I'll be interested to see just where it goes.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the review.
Oh, geez. And the third and last question, and also the last question for this show.
What are some big video game releases you're looking forward to?
I can just straight away bring up the really, really, really big one. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes.
Also the rest of Walking Dead Season 2.
Yeah, I can understand both of those. In my case, I've already mentioned some of the ones I'm looking forward to in the New Year video. Like, I've mentioned Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I'm a Donkey Kong fanboy, no need to go over it. But I'm also kind of interested in Hyrule Warriors as an interesting experiment, which, for those of you who don't know, it's basically Dynasty Warriors, but within the Legend of Zelda universe. Some of the other big releases, there is one I didn't mention, and the main reason is, I said in the New Year's video that I was considering getting a PlayStation 3. That has been more or less a certainty, because I found out that there is an HD collection of Tales of Symphonia being released in the West for the PlayStation 3, and I thought, okay, let's see. It's HD, it's still got the original English dub, it has some remixes of the songs, and it has all the content that was in the Japanese exclusive PlayStation 2 port. Oh, it's against my principles, but what the hell, I'm buying it. Let's get... What's even sadder is that part of me is considering one thing I don't normally do, and buy the collector's edition, basically because that has the soundtrack CDs and cute little figurines of Lloyd meals.
That almost sounds like something I'd do for that game. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'd buy the collection just to listen to a remix of Beat the Angel.
Oh, yes, that would be cool. But yeah, those are the big releases I'm looking forward to thus far.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. Oh, and Smash Bros. I completely forgot about that.
That too. I forgot about Smash Brothers too.
Yeah. But that's the end of the questions and the end of the show. I'll try to have another Q&A session this year. Either way, thanks to all of our fans and subscribers for sending in these questions. It was a lot of fun doing this again, in all honesty. It was nice to interact with you all again.
Yeah, and it was nice to be reminded that we do have fans, because our schedules kind of slipped.
Yeah, we have a small following, but we're incredibly grateful to you guys, I must say.
Yeah, every single one of our 200 subscribers we appreciate.
Yep, we love you all. And on that sick making notes, that's the end of the show for now. You can follow my blog, the Johnny Monkey's Jungle, on tumblr.com, and I also have a Twitter account, but I haven't decided what to do with it yet. But it's still there if you ever feel like looking at it, and I can't think of any more shameless plugs, so all that's left to do is finish the show. I've been the Johnny Monkey.
And I've been Sven the Crusader. Monkey to welcome broadcast.
That was Monkey Broadcast, a review and discussion show hosted by the Jonin Monkey and Sven the Crusader. If you feel that you've been the subject of slander or that your copyright has been misused, please PM me and I'll try and get round to fixing it as soon as possible. We also welcome any comments, be it feedback or your own viewpoints on any of the things we've discussed. Until next month, have fun kids!